Okay, here's a video about viewing the results of what was entered on the spreadsheet. So this is the form. If you just watch the video about a form with all different types of questions, here's what I just entered onto there. So I'll show you kind of how each question type comes through on the spreadsheet. First thing you'll notice here is timestamp. We didn't have a field called timestamp or a question called timestamp. Everything that's ever entered is timestamped of when the person hit submit. So I hit submit on October 1st, 2017 at 12:41 p.m. in 16 seconds. It's always going to be your left-hand column. Remember, we got a short answer called your name. Pretty basic. Whatever you typed in there comes in. Date comes through as a date field with the year because it was set up with year. If you had it set up with time, it would put date and time into one field. I can record another video about how to tease that out. The one that was put as time as start of session comes through as a time. Length of session, that was the duration, comes through as 1:30:00. That was because it was 1 hour and 30 minutes. You can change this. So if I go format, number, it's going to give me 0.06. I believe because that's 0.06 of 1 day. So let's try this. So let's do equals that. Let's test this out. Times 24. 1.5. That's what we had, 24. That's 1.5 hours. So we could play around with it in other videos. But it's just giving you as a number of what that is. Where did this session take place? Was that multiple choice where I typed in doctor? If I had checked community, that would come in. Whatever words are associated with the thing you checked come through. So these are all pretty straightforward. Here's one that's a little more difficult to work with if you're trying to graph things out. So this was that checkbox set. So what it will do is anything that's checked off will come through with a comma and a space in between it. So I checked off mom, dad, and siblings. So you get mom, comma, space, dad, comma, space, sibling. I can record other videos and teach you in the workshop of how to break those out if you want to count how many dads or how many siblings were in there. This is the drop down. Whatever you picked, that shows up. This was the linear scale. Notice it just comes through with that number that was associated with what you checked. I should have checked off the ends of it that had very low or very high so you could see, but you'll just have to trust me. Those words don't come through. So if you had a scale from 0 never to 7 always, if you typed 7, you would get 7 here, not 7 always, or not always, which is good because numbers are easier to graph and quantify. Let's scroll over here. So these 3 columns were all one question. Remember, we had frequency of target behaviors that were low frequency, and we had the multiple choice grid there. What it gives you is the words, or in this case, the numbers, associated with whatever is checked off, and each row on that question gives you a different column here. So if you remember, we had, I'll go to the fill out, here, send another response, and we'll actually just do this. So let's do John for yesterday. I'm just going to do just the required things and the ones that I wanted to show you. So notice here, now if I do mom, just mom, but I did want to show you of what it looks like when I do a 10 that's very high, or these, if I check these all off as over, and let's go to our next, submit. Now if you give it a second, our spreadsheet pops into another row. So this is what I wanted to show you. Notice I said over 5, add a note below. That's what was on here. That was the header of that column, so that's what comes through. If I did 5, 5 comes through. Okay. Here is that checkbox grid. It works just like a checkbox, but you get a column on here for every row on the checkbox with those comma space separations. Okay, that was a checkbox grid too, but I only did one, so only one came through. The answer, did he run out of the house today? That was a multiple choice. Gives you exactly what it was. This was that free text that I just didn't fill out. Again, whatever text you type would come in. Here was another multiple choice with the pictures. If you go look at it again, put in something there just so I can get to the next page. Oops, that was required. Getting a sense of what happens when you don't answer required questions. Notice here, obviously on my spreadsheet, this picture of the car doesn't come through, just the A from the time I checked A comes through. Another checkbox, comma separated. Yeah. So that's how they all come through. I will do some more videos about how to handle these, but that's how it comes through on the spreadsheets. And you notice they're pretty quick, pretty real time, right? I have 2 lines here. If I went through and filled it out again, boom, 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 boom. Go back to my spreadsheet. By the time I got there, that next answer is in there. So that's what it looks like on the back end spreadsheets.